Yeah.
You don't all train together. Like, are you all friends, or is there is there some like turf wars going on? What's the vibe like when you all come together?
No, I've got a pretty good relationship with all those guys, so it's good to catch up with them, and yeah, no, good relationship with them. I don't train with any of them, but yeah, good mutual friends with us.
Are there any other members of your gym that are in the UFC at the moment?
Not at the UFC. Steve Erceg trains with us. I don't know if you saw his fight. I don't know, a few months ago, but yeah, hopefully we can get some more coming through next year.
Yeah, because we hear so much about like freestyle, and I know it's in New Zealand syndicate, but like I was wondering if you feel like there's a bunch of guys from your team that are coming up.
Yeah, there is. I think over the next, hopefully a few of our guys can get on the show over the next year. It would be awesome.
And are you going home right after this, or are you spending? Some guys stay in America for quite some time afterwards to take advantage of being here. What are you doing? I know you have a young family as well. So what's the plan?
Yeah, well, the young family joined us on the trip, so they came in. Franco and Michelle are out in Vegas with us. So yeah, we're gonna spend after the fight, probably spend a few days, maybe 8 days in California. I think just cruising around.
Wait, so the young baby came on the flight all the way from Perth?
Yeah.
How did that go?
He was alright. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good baby. We got stuck on the tarmac for 2 hours. We sort of got it off his routine, but he slept very good. He slept very good 50% of the flight, and then. But yeah, no, it was good. I'm glad he's out here. He loves watching a fight, Franco. So I'm glad we could get him out here. He's next fight.
Wait, how old is he?
Second year. He's 11 months old.
He's 11 months and he loves watching a fight. How do you know he loves watching fights?
I don't know. He loves being in the crowd. I think it's more the crowd he likes. He has his headphones on. And yeah, he's into it.
So he's going to the event on Saturday?
Yeah, he's coming along.
He
was there in Perth.
Yeah, I remember.
Hopefully he comes to all my fights going forward.
You like that? You like having the family there. Some people don't like having the family there. They like to separate.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. I'm into it. Join along. They're part of the team.
Yeah, I love that.
Much as that, they don't put a lot of work in.
2 hours on the tarmac when you have a flight that long, that's a kick in the gut.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. Everyone, I think, you can tell everyone on the flight was getting a bit frustrated.
Man, and then with an 11-month-old, God bless. I can never even imagine doing such a thing. That is incredible. And then the time difference, too, with the sleeping. These are things people don't really take into account.
It took him a few days to get over the jet lag, but he's in the swing of it now.
Okay. All right, so all good.
3 days all over the place. But yeah, no, all good.
Okay, and it was a little kind of dicey there at the beginning of the trip, but now you got your opponent, you're good to go. No worries.
Yeah, no worries. Good. It was a bit dicey. We sort of just, as I said, just trusting the process. But it's all good now. Everything is good.
Man, imagine you fly all the way from Perth with your 11-month-old and you don't get a fight. That would have been.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I was here. I was ready to go against anyone. And glad they pulled us together.
Well, when you're one of the chosen few, you get the hookup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it. I just. My job is the fighting. I just leave that part to the boys, and that always seems to pull through.
Well, I wish you the best, Jack. Good luck. Glad you are remaining on the card, and looking forward to another big performance out of you on Saturday. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Nice talking to you again.
All right, there's the man himself, Don Giacomo, Jack Della Maddalena, returning to Vidal at 3 o'clock, and then Corey Sanhagen. Plus, the International Fight Week draft, which we did not even talk about or prepare for. Interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I definitely remember all the rules.
GC was busy. Had a bad. Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, a bad bout of food poisoning.
Terrible.
The worst.
Nope. I kid you not when I say like top 3 worst night of my life. All night
nightmare.
Went to a great steakhouse in Miami, right on the beach. You were familiar with it?
Yeah.
Do we name names? Or?
No, it's okay. We don't want that.
All right.
We don't want that karma.
We don't want that karma. Yeah. I did think for a second, I had a steak, got it medium rare. I don't know if that.
Come on. Did you really?
Rare. Yeah.
In the midst of the throwing up, did the thought of me pop into your head? And you say, you know what? Maybe Ariel's onto something here.
So not in the midst of the throwing up, but in between the bouts of vomiting, I thought about hitting our group chat and being like, maybe you're onto something. Or maybe you're onto something. Yeah, I was in hell. I was in real life hell. I was dying. But then I was like, everybody else at my table got medium rare as well. So as one does. So it was gorgonzola crusted. The steak was. Yeah. Alright, so I was gonna go for the bone and the ribeye. And then they sold me this whole thing. They were like, it's mommy season, and everyone's been complaining and sending it back. I'm like,
What? They said that at the restaurant?
Yes. Yeah, dry rub. And I was just like, why do you guys even have it on the menu? They're like, well, we had this other bone and ribeye. It was $70 more expensive. So I was like, well, I'm not doing that. So yeah, listen, in retrospect, the gorgonzola crust was just the worst.
Gorgonzola crusted steak?
It really sounds that terrible to you?
Yes.
Everybody at the table was just like, yeah, that's what you should do, man. I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. The waiter was like, it's one of my favorite items on the entire menu. I'm just like leaning in. I'm like, great. And it was good. It was like bacon wraps, gorgonzola crusted. Because we don't have gorgonzola.
get any of it on our couch brand. Yeah.
All of their couches, all of their mugs, everything. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There was no sleep. There was no sleep.
Oh my gosh.
And so shout out to Miami.
Did you get it? Did you get it on anything?
No. And then I just clicked back to my work and everything was but maybe it's where it's at.
And you know what's funny about it? In a cool twist of fate, I felt bad that you weren't going to International Rugby because you gave a proclamation last year that you were going to be there for the water. And so the reason I learned about all of this is because I asked you, are you feeling bad? Like it's another thing that was sitting here, everyone's there. They got the picture from Las Vegas Airport. Here we are, touching down, coverage, blah, blah, blah.
Seeing this game from UFC.
Yeah. And I said, are you feeling bad? And you said no, which surprised me. And then you explained why. So,
Yeah, that works. I mean,
isn't that amazing? How life works.
the world, maybe he got sick. And we can't close.
There were a lot of things in motion.
People don't know what happened behind the scenes. We did Super Bowls. Unbelievably lost.
It's frightening. Both this hotel before we even actually close.
No, man. We were back with it right somehow.
Why we were going the opposite way? All right, I'm good to go.
Maybe it's karma that I didn't come through on my proclamation. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, sorry, I guess we're like, I'd like to make any proclamations for next year, but maybe we should probably
I'm all timed up for this fix. I think you're feeling better.
It's time.
I'm an excellent source of magnesium. The health support immunity. Humans as well repeat.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived. 63 dark thought and
Oh yeah.
Wonderful Live. That guy's Valley Studios in beautiful New York City.
Joey Chestnut. That guy. That new producer. He is privileged. By the way, speaking of which, you did see yesterday here, Greg casually dropping a picture of Kobayashi from 2010 in the midst of the whole crazy free Kobe, controversy where he tried to crash the thing. I didn't know that Bierberg ran into Kobayashi on the boardwalk in Coney Island.
I was there, baby. I was there for the scene.
You saw the whole scene when he tried to crash?
I was right there.
Were you there because you knew he was going to crash, or you just happened to be there?
No, my wife and I just finally decided after living in New York for all these years, it was finally time to go and see it one year. So we went, and then let's say I think it was like an hour and a half before the actual competition. We just see Kobayashi walking down the boardwalk, and we and a few others kind of recognized him, and then he stopped and posed for a photo, chatted for 5 seconds, and then shoved away. And he got all hell loose once they started the actual competition. I still, the one true king. I was gonna say, can we get into the fact that you think the glizzy goat is Kobayashi and not Chestnut? I mean, it's.
Well, I feel this is one of the greatest botches in the history of American sports. No, I think this is crazy that they did this. They couldn't figure this out for all those years. You could have had, truly, what does America love? We love like a rivalry, like Magic and Bird, Manning and Brady, like that's what we love. Yeah, that's what we love. You had it. You had America versus Japan. You had Kobayashi versus Chestnut, and you botched it. You absolutely botched it. This is, I will say, a 15-year
America does also love dominance. Like, I feel like Joey Chestnut has, gotten a lot of momentum, and there's a lot of people behind him, but
it would have been better if it was, and he was right there.
I agree. It's risky, though, because I feel like Kobayashi is the king, baby. I don't know how you think that.
I mean, he's the what-if king. He's one of the great what-ifs. He's the Zabit Magomed-Sharipov of competitive eating. He's the Tatiana Suarez of competitive eating.
He was crushing it before he got
It was fantastic, but it's all in the numbers. I mean, he's winning with 44.5 dogs, 49 dogs. Chestnut's winning with 76, 73.
Different era. It's like if the game was evolving, hitting home run runs in the 30s, hits 35 home runs to freaking Aaron Judge.
Same dogs, same Nathan dogs.
No. The technology,
Stomachs are technology. The techniques have changed.
You know, it's crazy. The disrespect for the American king, the real.
Kobayashi put it on the map. Kobayashi is, to me,
Kobayashi, baby.
he put it on the map, and I do. You know, I spent the whole week with those guys back in a previous life of mine when I was working production for Spike TV on Fremont Street in Las Vegas. Spent the whole week with them. Was blown away by Kobayashi. Had an aura to him. Had like a superstar aura to him.
One of the best videos of all time is Kobayashi versus the bear, where they put him up against the bear. I mean, there was no competition, but it was still crazy that's how good people thought it was.
Yeah. Anyway, good time. You bet on it, by the way. Someone was asking me for a pick.
Yeah,
You didn't? Did you? I didn't see it.
Yeah. Pseudo under 44.5 easy. I mean, she didn't come close.
That was your pick?
39.5, yeah.
Nothing on Chestnut?
I would have taken the under, but I don't like to go against my guy.
That's your king. That's your king. I would have taken the under.
Yeah.
That's your king.
The under set at like 75.5. If it was Kobayashi, it'd be set at like 44.
He's in the mountains right now training. 10 years. Just come out of
Still doesn't get a call.
If he was really the goat, he would have figured out to affect the speeds.
Yeah, and is he competing for anyone else? Like, is he for the AEW
No!
yesterday? Yeah.
He's just like gone.
Very sure.
Way down the road, he tried to go to like competing on a contest.
No.
Yeah, no, I think so. All right, let's go to the questions. Cheeto Pancakes is up first. What's up, Ariel? The great Eddie Hearn said he expects the Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou fight to be 9-3. This is going to be an exhibition. If that ends up true, how much intrigue will be removed from that fight? Would it generate less buzz if it doesn't count against either fighter's professional record? First of all, I love the fact that Eddie's the one breaking this news when it has nothing to do with him or Matchroom. It's Tyson Fury, who's a Queensberry guy / top ranked guy, and Francis Ngannou who's kind of solo. I'm sure they all love that. You'll recall Frank Warren on Wednesday of last week told me that he's working on a game-changing announcement for Tyson Fury, and my immediate response was, "This is Francis Ngannou," because there's nothing in boxing that would be game-changing, right? If it's him versus Joshua, if it's him versus Usyk, if it's him versus anyone, that's not game-changing. But the Ngannou fight, to me, is game-changing because it's the lineal boxing heavyweight champion against a lineal MMA heavyweight. That's game-changing. To the question, and I tried to look around, and it does seem like there's smoke to that fire, but everyone's keeping sure that was very, very, very sealed at the moment. I have two questions. A, is it real or is it exhibition? Is it a profile or exhibition? I hope it's a profile. Exhibition does take some luster away. Second question would be, and I would throw this out there in a moment, is the exhibition against Tyson better than a regular fight against a Chisora, like Robinson happening, or some lesser heavyweight? I say yes. 1 second on your response. Third, all those people that said Francis bottled it, if he ends up getting a Tyson fight, exhibition or not, do you still say he bottled it? Or they can maybe jump the gun too quick to write the guy off? And so let's go back to the second question. I say, even if it is an exhibition, and for the record, I would prefer it not be one. What the hell is that? Like, let's see a real fight, just like we saw Mayback be a real fight. Even if it is an exhibition, to me it's still more intriguing than Francis versus No Neighbor. Agree or disagree here, Rick?
100% agree. Yeah.
GC?
I have no interest in Francis versus No Neighbor because I actually think he'll lose to the No Neighbor, and that sucks, like, as an outcome. Austin Tyson Fury doesn't kill your boxing chances. It just kind of resets the equation. So, yeah, big time. Would rather see that.
Okay, we're in agreement there. What about you, GC?
We're talking like absolute, like no neighbor that like we can get announced. We're just like, I don't know who that is.
See No Neighbor or like I said, like if they were or something.
If it's an exhibition, there's like no knockdown, and it just doesn't even really feel like a full fight. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah, it's boring. I would rather see the Chisora.
You would rather see the Chisora fight because it would just be a legit fight and the investment, but
Yes, like when I saw this announcement that would be an exhibition and there's no knockdowns and whatever other stipulations would come with it, immediately my interest will be there.
okay, that's fair. That's totally fair, and I can guess that. A lot of people are going to say that. That leads us to the second question. If it ends up being an exhibition, and by the way, at this moment I don't know, but I mean, why would Eddie get that wrong? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to screw things up. At this point, if it ends up being Tyson, but it's an exhibition, will people still say that he modeled it?
I think it depends on the payday. It all depends on the payday.
It's still
And the rules, like, is it like an exhibition? Like, are they really just gonna go out there and just like let it go? But if Tyson Fury loses,
the exhibition. I don't understand. The exhibition only favors Tyson in the sense that, like, Floyd does these exhibitions because he wants to keep his record intact. Is Tyson Fury afraid that he's gonna lose to Francis that bad? Like, what is that? Why exhibition? I don't understand.
But neither is Floyd Mayweather afraid that he's gonna lose the John Gotti, the third.
It's not a banana peel. He gets thrown in the
So that's it. So that's the same thing for Tyson.
No, Tyson
He's
Fury
right now. Tyson Fury would much more so on a banana peel. Francis Ngannou than Fury with a young gun. But that matters a lot for Francis.
But Floyd did do the one against Conor. And the 15-01. Like, he did the big one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was the last one he did. Alright, so give us one. Give us Tyson versus Francis.
No, Tyson is not the way out. Tyson is firmly in his prime right now, fighting guys for championships on the line. I understand it from Tyson's perspective. Obviously, if I'm a guy with a team, I'll be pushing for it not to be like no doubt in my mind. But I understand why Tyson Fury would prefer an exhibition. It makes a lot of sense.
It takes the closer away. I'm all in. I would love it. And I'm giving Tyson versus Francis exhibition or Francis versus anyone, you know, who's not in the top 5 or whatever. But I mean, you know,
It definitely takes some steam away from you. You're going to tell me you're going to get two of the biggest names in heavyweight into a ring and one of the biggest power punchers to ever fight in MMA, and we're not going to be able to see any dominance. You've seen these exhibitions, and except for cases where, like Mayweather is toying with people, they tend to turn into fights. They tend to just basically turn into fights. But that was turning into a fight, right? And the only reason that kind of played out that way was because Floyd Mayweather is just so much better than John Gotti that he can literally like look into the crowd and do whatever he wants. There's a skill gap, but it turns into a fight and ends up kind of inevitably being a fight. And I'm okay with Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury.
if it ends up being an exhibition, I still think people will find a reason. They'll be like, he left me no sleep for this. The payday is massive.
It's like 15 million or something.
They're gonna find something to show.
Show an exhibition, yeah. I mean, God bless him. God bless him. What more could you want? If he gets an exhibition and he gets a massive 15, 20, 25 million dollar payday, the man has won the game.
Especially when, like, a month ago, it seemed like he was completely on the outside looking in, right? It seemed like,
This is boxing.
yeah.
This just seems like so much boxing exhibition. Well, I mean, they're hoping that it'll generate. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand why people will be called off by exhibition. No doubt, I'm not stupid. I understand it, but to your point, like, I'd rather see this than like him fighting somebody that you're not gonna buy the fight anyway. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Well, why would I buy the Francis Ngannou versus X random fighter that I will buy even when it's not Francis Ngannou? Why do I care?
Alright, next up, Debo. Shalom, Ariel. Just wondering how your experience was in England at Money in the Bank. Have you noticed any changes since Endeavor purchased WWE? Does it seem like the wrestlers like the change? I think it's too soon. I think the biggest change is Vince is a little more in charge or in the mix, has a say. There was a period where he had no say. Now he definitely has a say. I don't think he is as present, but I think he has a say from back home. So that is a big change. I don't think there's a lot. The Endeavor thing isn't done just yet, and so there's not so much that can happen. We remember when Endeavor purchased UFC, took some time, and then around October, so they purchased in July, took some time, then in October you saw some layoffs. Hope the same thing doesn't happen, but you never know when it comes to these mergers. This one isn't quite done just yet. It was announced in April that was the plan, and so if it gets done in the next few months, then we'll see what happens. And of course, this one is a lot more complex because they're bringing the two entities together and spinning it off into this TKO entity, which will then become a public company. So there's a lot more at play here. But my overall experience was great. I thought it was a tremendous card. GC actually put a little lumber on Money in the Bank and still, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't know what happened, right?
Still no clue.
By the way, why did it seem like you were running somewhere in the time? Like, where did you go?
We're on a weird sound. We're hearing a weird noise back here. We're trying to figure out if it's my computer or not.
Oh, weird.
I don't think it is. So yeah, I still have no clue, no idea.
Well, I told you Logan was the lock, right? It came down to Logan and LA Knight.
And then we were gonna take the non-Roman, the Usos.
Yes, so unfortunately, in a surprise to me, neither Logan nor LA Knight won. LA Knight not winning was a very predictable thing in my opinion because I don't think they were going to go that deep with him thus far. I thought Logan was going to win. Actually, there was a period where there was a spot where Logan was on the ropes with Ricochet and it didn't seem like he had his bearings. And then they went to a table and it legit looked like he broke his neck. I don't know if you saw that floating around, but I was very concerned for him.
You would have seen that.
Those like ladder matches and all that are very scary. I did reach out to him afterwards and ask him if he was okay, and he said he was okay, but like that was super scary. Like he went head first. Anyway, it ended up being Damian Priest, who I think was a bit of a dog.
Oh, I had been a big dog because LA Knight was like a minus 400.
Yeah, so a little bit of a surprise there.
Shout out to Damian Priest.
Damian Priest, Pride of Puerto Rico. Not sure if I agree with that one, but good guy, and they're running with this. Eventually the Judgment Day is gonna fizzle and all this stuff. Did we do anything on the women's Money in the Bank? Because all week I was saying Io Sky was gonna win. Did we do anything or no? We should have.
No, I don't think so. I think we just decided on Logan Paul and the Usos.
Okay, well the Usos did win.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
I
actually didn't end up placing any bets. I forgot.
All right. So
I would have known the results had I placed the bets.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't know. I thought you did place a bet, but that makes sense. You were out in Miami, so who could be bothered, truly. But I will say I was a little bit wrong on that one, because I thought the reason why the Usos were going to win was because they were going to pin Solo Sikoa so that Roman Reigns' streak of not being pinned almost 4 years now would continue. And in the end, he put him over. He got pinned clean, so that was a bit of a shocker. Overall fun event. I really enjoyed the women's Money in the Bank match, especially the finish. Becky and Bayley were handcuffed. John Cena making a surprise appearance was fun. Crowd was super hot. They were chanting all kinds of crazy like soccer chants. And luckily I was with a lot of Brits who were explaining me the chants because I didn't understand what the hell was going on. Like there's one funny one where there's like a car song and a commercial, and they sing it at different matches, but I think it's like a West Ham thing, and we're close to West Ham, where O2 is. And so there's a player there, and they all start singing, I sold my car to some guy with a name like that, like this song, like, you know that song? Anyway, then the men's Money in the Bank, they were singing, I sold my car, what is going on here? What are they singing? And then they explained to me the backstory there, so that was really fun. I just thought the crowd was great. Being in it was great. I did a show on Friday with back in Fenway, who has the record for the highest strength in FIFA history. Up here, so who has the record for like the strongest player in FIFA video game history. That's a cool thing. So that was fun. Did go sleep on Saturday night, went straight to the airport. That was lots of fun. Yeah, that was good times. So I did, but I did enjoy it, and Moderator Lewis jumping in. Ariel and Lewis were in town. Fresh off a summer visit to the UK. Welcome back. Nice to be very important to bring to the table. On Thursday, June 29th, we were interviewed by IFL TV. A tremendous chat covering the hot topics of unboxing. On closing this interview, you said GC may have footage.
That's good.
Do you really, by the way, I just want to say that this video is definitely going to get more views than any video President, I'm going to retire from talking about boxing for the rest of my life. Wow, holy shit. By the way, I didn't know that you had that clip.
Yeah, we also do have the.
Oh, no.
You just can't.
Okay, I'm afraid to keep reading. This video is definitely going to get more views than anybody just heard it. If we review the tape, any video released the same day has 160% more views. 82K.
Yeah, we had
What?
yeah, about 9,500.
Wow, I know less than Garrett.
Yeah, even they did 11K, unfortunately.
That's just.
And then Eddie Heard, all of these 5 days ago, by the way, and then Eddie Heard, 91,000. About 10.
Oh, look at that. I mean, look at that thumbnail. Look at that thumbnail.
That is a good number.
It's a shocked face. Look at my thumbnail. Go back to my thumbnail.
I mean, you
Mine is just like, I'm doing like a, what is that?
listen, you both pretty energized. I also have to say, I love I'm bleach, sick and tired of fury, and then yours is I'm so bleach.
And I, you know what? I don't even know if I actually said that. Did I say I'm so fucking tired? I don't even know if I said that.
See the little wheels. I mean,
No, I don't even know if I said that.
but
And so there's a part of me that feels, what's that?
your voice sounded like at the end of next one. It sounded like your voice was like horse nights.
Well, I feel a bit betrayed here from both of you and Moderator Lewis because I thought you guys would have my back and say X, Y, and Z, you know, but I am actually reading. The fact that we're bringing this up and highlighting it makes me feel a certain way, but he does, you know, save the situation by stating this. It's clear to me that your foray into boxing is being suppressed. The algorithm is denying you the opportunity to conquer the rest of the world. We're still not having predicting, so I don't know. It feels like I'm being, honestly, it feels like I'm being playing here.
I'm just the boss man.
The boss man, Moderator Lewis, is calling shots here.
Moderator Lewis, and I told him that I was doing the bad says.
What?
We tried to no resistance.
100%. It's the algorithm. My interviews. Then Garrett, Eddie, I was kind of joking.
Yeah, we want to talk about the thumbnails. Garrett was just that long and I cut. No favors or no credit.
I go into the building on Thursday morning, completely jet lagged. Garrett walks up to me with his fucking iPhone. He's like, "What's that's my thing alone. It's all about
And then you can play it with the battery. I mean,
He's like, let's do an interview right now. Let's do an interview. I'm like, Garrett, can you just give me a second? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Do we have to do this? He follows me into the elevator and is asking me a bunch of questions. I'm actually really shocked that I did this. I bet you the comments on my video are lost in Garrett's comments. That's for sure.
we have that too.
Stop it. I can't. You know what? Moderator Lewis texted me that he had a really good question for this week, and I was excited. Now I feel a little bit betrayed. I'm not gonna lie. I feel betrayed. I feel like you guys are trying. I hear enough like stick to MMA nonsense. When you know I forgot more about the sweet science and these two rooms. I'll never know. Can I get this from you guys?
I should be saying you guys. This is all Moderator Lewis.
I'm very excited to show the footage.
I haven't even seen the footage.
Proves, by the way, that I don't even read the questions in advance because I never would have let this one slide. This is why I have a moderator to embarrass me on my own show.
He was nervous on whether you'd let it go.
I wouldn't have. I'll tell you that much. I would not have.
I think that's going to be heartbreaking for him to find out.
We move along. Andre Toth. Hi, Ariel. Andre from Hamilton, Ontario here. Just wondering how many pay-per-view points or how pay-per-view points would work for the upcoming bout between Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. Yes, it was announced last week. September. I love this idea, by the way. Wait. Pull this one off. We're being very positive on today's show, so for everyone who's like, you hate the UFC, you're obsessed with hating on it. Like, it's laughable because all we do is shower them with praise constantly. Like this, I shower them with praise. September 16th, brilliant fight night at T-Mobile, Mexican Independence Day weekend. Only thing better would be if it was happening in Mexico, but they beat Canelo to the punch apparently, and Canelo's now fighting September 30th against Jermell Charlo, not Jamal Charlo, which was a surprise to some in that world, the ones who are on the beat. Not me, because I'm way more entrenched. but this is fun because it's a fight night, and it seems like they're putting a lot of, Latina fighters on the card. And I love this Calvin Gastelum on the card, Tracy Cortez on the card. Now, I don't know if we're going to get Brandon Moreno or Yair Rodriguez, but this is fun. As for the question, about the pick, everyone's different, and sometimes they may offset it and say, hey, you're fighting on a fight night, we'll give you a little bit more to offset. And oh, by the way, some champions don't get pay-per-view points. DJ didn't get for a minute, Stipe didn't get for a minute, so it can go either way. I think for someone like Alexa to fight on an international, like a big event like that, and be the headline and for her country, this is a big deal. Again, the best scenario would be her fighting in Mexico. This is the closest thing, so seems like she would be okay with it. And then, of course, if that was a pay-per-view, I don't know if it's getting a ton. Now, if it's the co-main of a huge card, like a Jones or a Conor, maybe it's getting more. I'd like to think that she looked at all the scenarios and determined that this would be a good thing for her in her career. Finally, I've noticed that you haven't been doing the darts lately. Would love a darts rematch between yourself and the guys, Frank and a Mysterious Mask, of course, take care. Yeah, you just kind of have to feel out the situations, and recently it hasn't felt like it was, I don't know, apropos. But we still have it. We're still, do it. It's just, when we had Izzy and stuff, short on time, and then we had the back-to-backs, and I don't know. You go through moves. That's all. Mike A. Hey, Ariel, any update on Jamal versus Yuri? I feel like things have been silent for a bit. If Yuri isn't recovered from his injury, who would likely be the next person lined to fight for the belt? I think they really want it to be Yuri. And I suspect it happens in this fourth quarter. But as you see, a lot of champions need fights. And, they're putting Alexa on a fight night, so let's see what happens. Maybe Abu Dhabi would be weird for Sydney, or maybe wait for New York. Tough one, but I suspect it happens in this fourth quarter. It's tough, though, because Jamal won his belt in January, and he will have not fought for, 10, 11, 12 months, and he was healthy. Shitty situation. On an unrelated pro wrestling note, if you could pick 4 current wrestlers from any promotion to be the cornerstones of a new company for the next decade, who would you pick and why? Thanks, and shout out to the crew. Wow, what a tough one. Well, I guess you have to go with Roman Reigns. I would put MJF in that mix. It's a really tough one. Current. I mean, Cody's a really big star right now. I'd probably put him as well. And then should I put an up-and-comer? Maybe a Gunther. Gunther's really good. I feel like I'm forgetting someone right now. Sammy. People love Sammy. Can do a little bit of everything. I'll go Roman, Sammy, MJF. Who was the fourth? There was someone else that I mentioned. Roman, Sammy, MJF. I just mentioned someone and I forget who it was. Anyone remember? You guys all checked out. Or maybe, was it Gunther? Maybe Roman, Sammy, Gunther, MJF.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah. Oh, Cody.
No.
Yeah. Roman. I'm going to go with 5. Roman, Sammy, Gunther, MJF, Cody. That's a good question. Tough one. Wrestling's on fire. Wrestling's on fire. Wrestling's on fire. Ben P. Hello, Ariel. 2 quick ones, if I may. If Robert Whittaker beats CDP, do you think he is next in line for the title shot? Or do you think the UFC might go with Sean Strickland? Depends on if he's healthy. If he is healthy, I say they go with him. Sydney makes all the sense in the world. Sean is also much more likely for the quick turnaround. Yes, if he's banged up, they go with Sean. Also, just wondered, have you heard anything regarding a Leon Edwards fight date? Only month available seems to be September. Is that the likely date for Leon versus Colby? No, that's another one. Where does it fit? Sydney? Weird. Putting him with Izzy? Weird. I mean, not weird, but that's a stacked Sydney pay-per-view. Do they create a date? Do they put him in Abu Dhabi? Weird. Colby and MSG makes a lot more sense. That's kind of where I think it goes. A lot of Brits here. That's where I would do it. MSG. New York, Colby, America's champ against the Brit. Like it. Hello, Ariel. Thoughts on UFC London from Ali Wild Dash. O2 is usually rocking, as it was last Saturday for MITV. Hell yeah, it was. That was an incredible crowd. However, with it struggling to sell on high ticket prices, which has just been reduced, it feels like this is going to bomb. Yeah, I mean, the last few cards have been great. This one is non-stacked. And I really do think that they went back to the O2 title. If they were going to Manchester, if they were going to Nottingham, if they were going to, I know they can't go to Liverpool because of weird Marks and Spencer gaming arena nonsense. I think they went to O2 too many times. I know that's the epicenter. But if you're bringing great cards and then you come back with a lesser card, it's going to struggle to sell unless the ticket prices are insane. Right now, Tommy Aspinall against Marcin Tybura is a fine main event. It's equal to the other main events that we had. But there is no denying that the rest of the card is the same. The second to last fight is Molly McCann against Julia Slobodarenko. Not the typical co-main for these cards. Jai Herbert against Mariziam. Lerone Murphy against Joshua Kulibau. Nathaniel Wood against Andre Fili, very fun fight. Andre Muniz against Cole Craig. Michael Parkin against Jamal Hogues. Davey Grant on the card. RJ Casey against Julian Alvarez. Very fun fight. Chris Duncan against Inal Shuzarboy. Danny Roberts against Johnny Parsons. Keith Pierre against Penny Kianzad. Brian Margarina is on the card as well. But it is Sean Bannon of Ireland making her debut. You know, it's a fine European card. It's just not the level that we've got at these cards in the past. So, you know, it's a lesson more than back to alone. I think, you know, you go back so many times, you come back with maybe a thinner card, it's going to struggle. Now, I'm sure it's going to do great ticket prices, and the game's going to be great. They're going to say it's selling all that, but they're building buying talent. No one will play for the same this time around. I think if they would gone to a Newcastle, something like that, they would have been just fine. That's the type of card that it is, but they're going back to the O2. Hey, I don't know, so hyped to have Evo Town Phenom back the outgun, but that did not go the way I was hoping. Yeah, that's a tough one. He always looks so great in the lead up. It seems to achieve more RP Scott Hall, but man, you see Kevin H3 being contender at welterweight, coming back to the UFC mistake. Where are his best fights? Everyone else where thanks everyone. That's just a tough fight. And really a no upside fight for him. I'm surprised it took it. Maybe that was the only fight that he could take. Maybe that was the only stipulation because not a big name, super tough. At the apex, no buzz. I would have thought that would give him some just to get back on track with his relationship with the press has always been a little bit weird. And of course he was a casualty of the CAA, the UFC, but he's now being represented by Dominance, so I thought maybe he'd get a more favorable matchup, but maybe that's all he could get in his return. I suspect he gets another, at least one more. I thought from the get-go that was a very weird fight to get in his return in a weird setting as well. And yeah, just a tough go for him. That guy's really good and not a big name, so the upside isn't that great. Where people are like, oh my god, it's not like he's fighting the shotgun or Hansa or both about it. He's just a really tough, lesser known guy. And then that happens, you're like, oh wow, Kevin lost to a lesser known guy. Whereas yeah, tough fight for him. So I think it's a bit of an easier go in this next fight so that he can get back on track. Let's jump into the questions. Our next guest is waiting. We'll get back to them on the back end. Still to come. Reset King and stay tuned for that. We're still talking to him. He's fighting a really tough guy next to Margavado. But our next guest made an announcement a couple of days ago. He is back promoting another event that had been very busy. We last spoke to him right after his last MMA fight. He retired in April following his fight in Miami, but he is still going very strong in the fight game, announcing that he is promoting an event September 8th in Jacksonville, headlined by Mauricio Verdun versus Junior Dos Santos 2, a fight that happened back at UFC 90 in 2008, a fight that was won on by a debuting Junior Santos is going to do a shocking knockout today. They're going to run it back in Game Red, Bare Knuckle, MMA, September 8th in Jacksonville. Of course, you're talking about Game Red, you're talking about Jorge Masvidal. Here he is, Mr. Game Red himself, pride of Miami, Mr. 305. What's happening, Jorge? How are you, my man? I'm doing great. Is life good? Is your life good?
Entire life is pretty good. I can't complain. I never complain to it. Life is good. I'm spending a lot of time with my family, making money. I can't complain. My life is good.
You're just chilling. By the way, did you just have lunch or something? Do this for me. Yeah, you got some stuff in your beard. I want you to look good. You see, I look out for you. See, other people wouldn't say that to you. See, I look out. I look out. I got your back. Yeah, much respect. All right, so you're making money where? In the promoting game or in other walks of life?
Other walks of life, like slow and steady, little business instead of growing time. But mainly in the promoting, man, we're breaking strides every time. We have to go. The show coming up September 8th, JDS versus Chillinn. We'll have another show in November. Another show in December, so we get it lined up. The next card, you're gonna freak out about when you hear the main event versus main event type thing. So I'm pumped, man. I've been doing this my whole life, like I said. So I want to put fights together that make me go, holy smokes! I'm gonna spend my hard-earned money and time to go watch this, or at least tune into it. You know, so when we come across matchups like that, I know I'm doing this off enough.
By the way, I never asked you this. Was it always a dream for you to be a promoter, or is this something that came to you later in life?
No, later in life. When I first got in, the first thing and the only thing for me was fighting. It's like, that's it, you know. I wanted to fight, I wanted to fight. I fought for as long as I could. I had a blast doing it, maybe like around 5 years ago. That's where I started thinking more about promoting. Then about 8 years ago, where I started to put it to a paper, putting on shows, and doing all these things, being involved as much as I could as a promoter. So for about 3 years now that I've been doing it, I love it. You know? This is something I can definitely do.
Okay, and you're going strong. And by the way, last time I spoke to you was in April after your last fight. Any regrets about the announcement? Any itches coming back? Or I know it's just been 3 months since, but are you at peace with the decision?
That's a hard one, man. To be at peace. It's something, let's say I played, tic-tac-toe for 20 years in a row. It'd be hard to just give up tic-tac-toe. Anything I think that you do is that, especially being a human being, that creatures of habit, it's just rough, There's some days that are tougher than other days. There's some days that I'm very moody and I don't even know why. It's just like, man, I gotta go get a good workout and get all this bad energy and stress off of me. And that's it. That's something that MMA always provided me. Just kind of like, it's like therapy, So I definitely gotta keep myself in the gym always, and the itch to compete is always. I mean, I go in the gym some days I do phenomenal. Like, I haven't lost a beat. I need to get right back in there, but it's it ain't the same, But yeah, of course, I love it. This is all I knew, all I did for such a long part of my life since I was a kid.
Well, you're still involved. You're at the gym, like you said. You're promoting events September 8th. Just announced Jacksonville, JDS versus Verdun. Why are you running this back? And by the way, how do you decide? Because you also have the boxing. So, why isn't this a boxing match? How do you decide if it's going to be bare knuckle MMA or if it's going to be boxing?
A lot of different factors. First and foremost is we talk to the athletes. We give them opportunities. We have many different ways. We have a glove promotion as well. My fighting championship. We have the boxing, and we have the bare knuckle. So when we're talking to athletes, it's kind of like, what would you want to do? This is what the options that we have coming up. What would you want to do? And then we start working on that and building cards around that. We start up at the top, get the main event, get the city, and then from there we start to fill out the card.
Was this a hard one to put together?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. We've been